Welcome to the Soul Driven Podcast. I believe that when we invest in ourselves, the world benefits. If you are searching for meaning and purpose, if you are unsure about how to combine the spiritual with the everyday, if you are ready to uncover who you truly are, then you've come to the right place. The Soul Driven Podcast is dedicated to exploring the intersection of living a soulful and spiritual life in a driven and ambitious world. Join me for practical guidance, truthful discussions, and interviews with people who are successfully living a soul-driven life. My name is Anna Hendricks, spiritual guide, marketer, and your host. Thank you for being here. Welcome back to another monthly Akashic Forecast. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. My name is Anna Hendricks, spiritual guide, Akashic Soul Channel, and your host. And holy freaking crap, y'all. What is going on? We're on the precipice of October, and I'm sitting here at my desk. I'm looking out my window, and the leaves are changing. Some of those, I think that they are Japanese maples, are already like red in my neighborhood. I can't wait. And for those who don't know, I'm up in the mountains. Like I'm up in the high mountains. And so we're kind of getting, it's going to change up here before it'll change at lower levels. But it's been wild. It has been wild this month. We had like a cold spell just really like last week, the week before. And your girl, y'all, I went a little crazy. I went on a little bit of a spending spree for some fleece lining things. I went down the rabbit hole just a little bit, because here's the thing. I don't think that my house has the best insulation because it got cold. And you know how it is, like when it gets chilly, like it's usually more cold inside sometimes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I had ordered one pair of fleece leggings that I had received prior to the cold front. And I was very thankful. I was in those babies every day. I was almost sleeping in them too. Like, it was just like, oh my goodness. That's why if you've been watching me on Instagram, you're starting to see all my turtleneck collection because I had to bring it out because yes. And if you need a turtleneck hookup, I am your girl. I am your girl. I've already had a couple people reach out. It's very funny to me. I have always loved turtlenecks. I mean, I was the girl at like frat parties when I was very young in like a turtleneck in the wintertime. I was not one of these girls who could wear like small amounts of clothes and be okay. Like if I wore a small, like a small top or like short shorts or like, I would just be freezing in the corner. Like nobody wants to talk to that person. I wore my turtleneck and I wore it proudly because then I could actually enjoy myself and be present because I wasn't freezing. And I'm also someone who runs just a little bit colder anyway, naturally. So I love turtlenecks. And that's funny because I am also someone who my astrology chart is like primarily fire. And so when the weather gets cool, cold, chilly, I'm blissed out. I love it. Love it. Fall is definitely my favorite time of year. It always has been. And September flew by so fast though. I feel like, holy crap, just like what the heck happened? I don't even know, But I'm really excited because this is absolutely my favorite time of year. And over the past like 3 to 4 years, as I have really opened myself up spiritually, begun my work with the Akashic Records, honed my psychic talents, like these kinds of things, when this part of the year starts, like it's just like I can feel that veil thinning. And there's this part of me that just kind of comes alive and I get so excited. So excited. I'm not someone who loves like pumpkin stuff. I mean, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like go crazy for it. I remember years ago, probably over a decade ago, I went to Starbucks, for that pumpkin latte, baby. And I was like, so how many pumps of that sugar do y'all put in that thing? And they were showing me, I was just like, oh my gosh. Okay, I want like a third of that. I can't even remember. I feel like there was like 6 or 7 or something, and I could be way off base here, but I was just like, I'll have like two. I want some pumpkin, but I don't want all the like super sweet. I don't want to feel like I'm like drinking syrup. Um, and so yeah, but I love this time of year. I'm a huge fan, and I bring on October and what a month October is going to be. Holy crap. I'm so curious if you love this time of year, if you are feeling as well the veil starting to shift. Like we've got eclipses this month. I mean, like we've got some major stuff astrologically coming in, and it's just going to be really interesting to see what occurs over the next 2 months. Like October, November are my favorites. Getting into December, things kind of start chilling out for me and fading a bit in regards to like that like fall energy, even though I don't think winter starts until like January or something, or I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Your girl is not someone who is always up to date on these things, okay? But wow, what a month September was. It absolutely flew by. And I know I did 3 workshops, which was just awesome. So awesome. I had this moment after the Access the Akashic Records workshop last week, which was the 3rd workshop for the month. And when it was over, I just honestly was so overwhelmed with total and complete gratitude at where I'm at with my business, at where I'm at with my life and my trajectory, and like feeling like I'm really living out my purpose in so many different ways and having fun with it. To be in the classes and seeing people like coming into awareness of their own gifts, their own talents, their own wisdom, connecting with the Akashic records, whatever the case may be, it blows me away. And for those who don't know, I dreamed of being a teacher when I was a young girl. I talked about it multiple times about it on the podcast. But that was like a dream of mine. And then of course, when I understood like the dynamics of being a teacher and like the system and like all that, I wanted nothing to do with it. In addition, I worked with teachers in high school, like waiting tables and stuff. And I just got to hear all about it. And it was just like, nope. And I didn't think that would ever come into fruition for me. It's funny because like, even looking back, like when I was in marketing, like I didn't think like, oh, I could like teach online. Like I didn't think about these things. And, thanks to my guides, thanks to God bringing this into my life. And this year it really feels like, okay, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited to do this. And so there's going to be a lot coming forward for you, a lot of different opportunities to dive in for different things. But, I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended one of my workshops this month in September. And yeah, who just continues to support my business, to invest in yourself in this way. Because what is our slogan here? When we invest in ourselves, the world benefits. And I know that the world shifts. The frequency increases when there are more people reading the Akashic Records, when there are more people being introduced to the wisdom that is within, when there are more people learning how to manage their own energy and not let the world like affect them the way that it usually does. Like we're stepping into our sovereignty, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. Okay, I'm going to stop being mushy. Because I could get really, really mushy right now. Okay, so speaking of workshops, I've got some great events for you. They're already teed up. You can already sign up for them. Links will be in the show notes. Grab your seats, grab whatever feels aligned for you. So first of all, first of all, if you signed up for the 2023 Akashic Forecast Toolkit, I will be dropping the 4th quarter Akashic Forecast workbook, whole 9 yards, by the 1st, okay? So make sure to look out for that in your toolkit. You can download it, listen to it, do all the things, and prepare for this last quarter because it's going to be a big one. Okay. Number 2, I am hosting 2 Akashic Restoration Circles this month because of the large amount of interest for these circles. They are powerful. I don't call my energy healing sessions energy healing. I call them restoration sessions, Akashic restoration sessions, because what the Akasha really showed me is I am just assisting in restoring you to your natural state of being. And so that's why they're called restoration circles. The one that was hosted in September was just phenomenal. Such an incredible group that came together. They cried, they laughed, all of the things. And what's really great too is that when you show up for these circles, you aren't there to just receive your healing. You're also there and can take advantage of if someone else, has something channeled through for them that really resonates with you, you can intend to accept that healing for yourself. So how these circles go is that I open up the Akashic records. Each person, when I come to them, I open up their records. We ask your higher self, your guides, what most needs to be released or restored for you at that time. And then I proceed with an Akashic process. And I think each person usually gets anywhere, about 20 to 30 minutes or so. So it's a really beautiful session. And it blew everyone away because they were all able to hang and they didn't get tired and they enjoyed it. And yeah. So I've got 2 dates, the 13th and the 26th. We'll be kicking those off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, all the information will be in the show notes, but you can look for those. Make sure that you can attend live, okay? Because this is a must. You must be there live. Otherwise, you just, I don't offer refunds, not to be a hard ass, but simply because I want people to really be intentional before you sign up for something, okay? So check it out, see if they resonate with you. And if you can attend live, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Second of all, access the Akashic Records Level 2. This is on the 18th. If you have taken Level 1 with me before, then you can take this. But that is absolutely a requirement to take this workshop with me, okay? In this workshop, we're going to be going much deeper with your practice. We're going to be doing lots of really fun activities and engagements. Plus, you're going to be reading for others, which is going to really assist in maximizing I shouldn't say maximizing, but just really amping up your confidence in the records, because it's one thing reading for yourself. It's another thing when you start reading for someone else. Then you're like, holy crap, this thing that I'm seeing it was actually true. It was actually real. It's actually happening. It's good. So if you have taken level 1 with me at any point in time, you can sign up for this. And if you have taken level 1 or level 2 with me before, the last time I hosted it was last year. You can also take it this year as well. Feel free. Come on back. And then last but not least, an Akashic Journey with Fear. This is going to be a 6-week course, and I'm going to be launching it towards the end of this month. I don't have a definite date on it yet, but suffice it to say, this is going to be a course like none of the other courses I have taught. This is going to be very in-depth, very personal, very intimate. I am keeping this to 10 seats only. We are going to be meeting throughout those 6 weeks. It is going to be work, and it's going to be incredible. We're going to be clearing fear. We're going to be coming face to face with fear, of course, all through the lens of the Akashic Records. They have channeled through so much information about fear. We're going to be changing our perspectives. We're going to be doing somatic work. We're going to be doing EFT tapping. There's going to be a number of different components in this workshop that I've never pulled in before. It is big time. So if you are someone who has struggled with fear in your life, if you are ready to really come into right relationship with fear, this is going to be a course for you. And again, there's only going to be 10 seats available. So when this goes live, I am going to be giving the folks who are in an Akashic Journey with the Body first dibs. I like giving my students first dibs. And then I will be opening it up on my email list. So you will have an opportunity to sign up for it there. Make sure you're on the email list. We're looking at launching towards the end of the month, okay? So you've got a bit of time, and of course, I'll be talking about it more as I'm moving forward and as more is coming into me. So look out for that. And good gosh, is it perfect? Like, holy crap. Talking about this month's theme being excavation, talking about us stepping into the eclipse season, which is about major transformation. Y'all, it's the perfect time to just, become empowered through fear. So if you feel the call, that will be available. All right. Let's get down to business here. So September's Akashic Forecast theme was growing up inside. I am very curious to hear how September was for you. I talked with quite a few of you throughout the month because, of course, with clients and workshops and just connections and it's been a lot. And I feel like for most of us, we had a good month, right? It was pretty good. I think that there was definitely some tougher things that happened. Our planet, man, she is really kicking up a storm, and the records definitely talked about it again for this month. So, having a greater and better understanding of these things that are taking place on planet Earth right now is going to be very helpful for us. But also just, really, again, stepping into our own selves, our own sovereignty, our own lives, our own focus and what it is that we're doing here on the planet. And so much of this month was really, honestly, like growing up inside explains it perfectly for me, because I was doing a lot of work this month on myself, on my power, on healing in different areas, on coming into my own. Like, things are they are shifting big time in my world. And I'm curious what it was like for you. We're stepping from a month where the theme is growing up inside to a theme of excavation. And the way that the records really explained excavation is really like burrowing down and bringing these things to the surface. So it's going to be a major month of release. And if you are new to this podcast, I'll be sharing the reading with you here in just a moment, and then popping back in on the other side to really break it down for you, integration, whole 9 yards. But September was an interesting month, and it felt lighter than the previous months have. There was definitely more heart opening for me in like a way that wasn't as gooey as it was in August. If you've been listening to this podcast, I'm going through a breakup right now from a 7-year relationship. So while that has played a part in it, there's also been my own personal experience. And it's been really interesting. It's been an interesting ride, to say the least. So hopefully September has served you. If you want to reach out to me and nerd out on September, I am here for it. Okay. All right. So if you're brand new to this podcast, welcome. You can check out and learn more about the Akashic Records by diving into my Akashic series, episodes 168 to 172, I believe. I kind of broke down my relationship with the Akashic Records so that you can really kind of learn more. But suffice it to say that when I access the Akashic Records for these monthly forecasts, I open them up for the listeners of the Soul Driven podcast. So whether you are brand new or you've been here with me since 2020, then this is for you. And regardless of when you come to it, this is for you. I may have just said that. My brain's starting to now get tired. It's like, yo, we're coming up on 20 minutes. Can we just wrap it up here? Anyway, suffice it to say, that's what I open up the Akashic Records for. So time does not exist outside of this planet in the same way. So it just really doesn't matter. I always suggest to not be driving the vehicle when you're listening to this, only because sometimes folks really feel the energy coming through very strongly from the Akashic Records. Do what's best for you. But I love listening with my headphones. You will also find the transcription for this reading on my website. It's always posted there so that you can read it and listen to it at the same time. And, you know, in the midst of October, if you are feeling lost or off-centered or really struggling with being grounded, come back to this Akashic Forecast message. All right. I also provide, the times so that you can jump in on the blog that's on my website for this episode. So you can kind of jump through my blah, blah and dive right into the reading, but listen to it. I've had people reach out who've shared with me that they listen to it once a week, that they listen to it almost every day when they're going through difficult things. It is huge. It is a guiding light. This is a beautiful instrument, and I hope that you enjoy it and appreciate it and utilize it in your own life. So I'm going to kind of sign off here and share the reading with you, and then I will see you on the other side. Okay. There are many things coming towards you. Yes, it's as if they are billowing in the wind and yet raining down upon your head, slicing you and dicing you, catching up with every little part and aspect of you. Yes, these things rain down. You feel them. You feel them deep at a soul level. For this is a month of excavation. Yes, so many things coming to the surface now. Ready and willing to be seen. All that you are ready and prepared for, that which is here, has always been here. But that which you have not placed your gaze upon, no, you have looked away, haven't wanted to see the reality of the situation and all that has been taking place here. For you've been readying and steadying yourself as is most aligned for you. For as we have spoken about so many times, so many months, and for so long, you and yourself. That is what is most important in these times, for if you do not care for self, take care of self, then it's going to be very difficult moving forward. For the boat is going to rock, the tables are going to turn, and things are going to look almost as if you are in a completely different situation. No, it's not going to be easy. But we are here to assure you that you have every ability within you to do what it takes to make it through, to lift up your head, to remember the sun, to know about the strength that lies within you. For there is so much here, the crumbling, the shaking, the letting go. Oh, yes, the letting go. For there are so many layers and extremities that haven't been serving you for some time. Perhaps you have named them, and if not, you surely will this month, for things will become crystal clear. You will see within yourself that which needs to go. Not only in the deep crevices of you, but also in your exterior world. This is excavation time. Coming to the surface, releasing. Coming to the surface, releasing. It's as if you're cleaning out your closet, ridding yourself of the clothes you no longer wear, the ones that no longer bring you joy or fit you the way that they used to. but be proud knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is nothing that is ever out of place or in the wrong place. Everything fits the way it is meant to, the way it will always be. Know that in these times, your light, yes, your light is only going to become brighter. You're going to draw to yourself those which need you, need your strength, countenance, the love that pours out from you, even without intending to. And this love, why, it's going to flow back to you. You're going to feel it coming in from every angle and at the most inopportune times, meaning that emotions will play a big role this month. Yes, they too will be coming to the surface, and perhaps not in the way that you would like them to, for these aren't meant to be controlled. They are meant to be released, let go of, for you cannot carry them forward any longer. Know that when these emotions arrive, what you can best do is be here and present with them. Offer yourself up to their guidance, what it is they wish to share with you. The world is going to continue her shaking, continuing to let loose as well of that which no longer serves. When you see things taking place across this planet that affect the many hundreds and thousands, know that there was something there that needed to be released, cleansed, washed free. Know too that these souls chose to go. In fact, it was imprinted from their very first days. But of course, these are surprises, and there is much hurt and fear. Oh yes, fear is only going to increase as you move forward. We have some hard times coming, as we have shared with you before. But as you continue on this path and on this road, hold tight to the things that mean dear to you, that which brings you back to home, that which builds a solid foundation beneath your feet. For you must learn to stand on your own, regardless of what others say around you, knowing that what is happening with them is truly happening with them. It is not personal and it is not about you. In fact, nothing has ever been about you. Oh wait, except for everything. This is a time when you will be coming into the understanding that life is a mirror for you. If you do not like something, then it is up to you to change it. If you are in environments where you do not want to be, then you must take yourself out of it. Remove yourself from the situations, people, places, and things that do not make you feel as if you are at home, but use them to show you as well what is taking place within you, what needs to be relinquished. What are the control mechanisms trying to step in and handle everything when nothing is meant to be handled? Take your time in these days. Slow yourself down. We can't tell you this enough, simply because it is so important. And with life happening all around you, you're going to miss the blissful moments, the sweet caresses, that love. If you are not steadying yourself along the way, know that this month is going to bring it. It's going to unfurl great pain, great need, great catastrophe in its own way. Allow it to be. Step back, take notice, dig into what you know and what builds you up. Ensuring that you are continuing to ready yourself for the roads that lie ahead. All right. Coming back. What a message. What a message. I think you could hear in my voice the intensity of this month's energy. When I listened back to it, when I was doing the transcript, I was just like, oh my gosh. And when it came out and when I was channeling it, it was coming out very slowly, very intentionally. And to be honest with you, like my human self gets annoyed by that sometimes. I'm just kind of like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Because I feel more, let's see, what's the way to describe it here? I feel more powerful, I think, when it just like comes and it just like, it's just like, I kind of like, yeah, it just comes straight through me and it's really strong and those sorts of things. But I've been learning that when it comes out slower, it's because they really want you to take into account what it is that they're sharing, what it is that they're saying, and that it is very, very intentional. You know, it matches the energy, matches what we are stepping into. And the overall energy for this month, it's heavier. And not necessarily in like a negative way, but in a heavier way. Heavy meaning, our overarching theme is excavation. Excavation is no joke, right? It's not one of those words that's like joy, flower, bliss, rainbows, unicorns. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big word, and it's definitely a big word in these times. And considering how much we've already been through this year, sometimes I'm just like, how much more can we take? And then I realize like every freaking single bit, we can handle it. We can handle it all and then more and more and more because we're equipped. That's why we're here. You know, I've said so many times on this podcast, like if you're still on this planet, there's a reason and a purpose why you're here. And you got all the tools, you got all the know-how right now in this very moment. You don't need to go to the store and buy something. You don't need to we're here for a purpose and a reason. And the truth of the matter is that this world has to break so that it can be rebuilt. Everything has to break. We have to release. And so many people are doing major releasing in this lifetime. I mean, it's something that comes up in my Akashic readings with clients pretty much always, I would say, on one level or another. We are shedding so much, so much. And that's because like the energy on this planet is doing the same. Like we are representatives of Mother Earth, regardless of where we came from, you know, how long we've been beings of Earth. Like it just doesn't matter. Our bodies are of this Earth, and we are in the midst of evolution in the same way that she is. And so what is happening to us on a micro level is also happening to her on a macro level. You know what I'm saying? And it's her macro is also her micro. I don't know if that really makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. It makes sense in regards to like the things that I see. But this channeled reading was very, again, heavy, heavy. And that doesn't, like on the front end, I just want to say that doesn't mean we aren't going to enjoy this month. That doesn't mean we aren't going to have a great month. That doesn't mean we won't like do some killer trick-or-treating, eating candy. Like, our experience is up to us 100%. And I think that's a lot of what today's message is about, is us taking responsibility for who we are. In addition, we are also in this process of evolution. And after the past 2 months of a lot of hard work and a lot of internal work, we are now ready to release. And it's funny that we're going to be kicking the month off with a full moon. Even though the full moon's still happening at the very end of September, that energy is welcoming in October. And it's a big, big moon. In full moons are the times when we release. And so that is how we are kicking off October. So I just wanted to remind you, kind of before I dive into this, like your frame of mind, your perspective is everything. That whole glass half empty, glass half full thing is real. What we choose to focus our time and energy on is what we get more of, whether that is more of the negative or more of the positive. And I believe that there's a happy medium there in regards to being aware and being honest about what we're in the midst of. And then also remembering that we have everything we need. We can take all of this on. There's nothing that we can't handle. And we are not alone. Not a single one of us. We are not alone. Not at any moment, place, or time. We are never, never, never alone. Help is always at our fingertips, but we forget to ask. We forget. We don't remember that we can. And especially in a month like this, and especially moving forward, being able to ask for that help is going to be huge. Being able to reach out to others for assistance is going to be huge. We're not going to be living in this like siloed world anymore. We're shifting more and more from that me to we. That's why the world seems smaller and smaller and smaller every day. When I jump on the BBC to look at the news, I'm seeing like all kinds of things that I didn't used to see in the news. Everything's so much smaller now, right? I mean, it's bizarre how that happened. But also, that was one of the gifts of the pandemic, is that it brought our world, it brought kind of everything to an equal landing spot. And now we got to build out from here. Now we got to like really do the work. That was just like a putting on of the brakes. Everybody coming to the stoplight. And now it's time to do the work. Okay, so let's dive in. So obviously a lot is happening this month. A lot. This is a month of excavation. And again, what I was really seeing, and even what they shared, is so much is going to be coming to the surface for us in so many different ways, in our internal world and the external world, right? Like we've been living in a world where we didn't see the reality of what was going on around us. We didn't see the reality of the social structures, the ways in which certain people were preferred, the ways in which we're being taken advantage of, the ways in which, certain industries are just full on corrupt. There's so much that we just flat out didn't see for a very, very long time on this planet. And we didn't see it because we were busy little bees in our own life, in our own world, doing our own thing, trying to make it, trying to attain, trying to be something, right? But that's all been shattered. And moment by moment, as we step forward, we're like, holy crap, like this industry, like this company, this like person, this whatever, like these people didn't have my best interest in mind. They don't care about me. They don't care about the planet. They don't, you know what I'm saying? It's really fascinating how this is happening more and more and more. And it's just going to continue. As the veil is thinning, as we go into October and even November, we're going to see things a lot more clearly through these next few months. So definitely pay attention, really, really pay attention, because we're going to see a lot of these themes that they're going to be coming up again and again, but some big things happening here, right? One of the things as well that's coming forward for this month is in the midst of all of this release, in the midst of all of the intensity that's going on, I think that there's going to be moments. From what I was seeing, it's going to be like, there's going to be moments like throughout the month when you're catching yourself and you're like, you feel brand new. You feel almost like you don't know fully who you are. You don't fully understand the situation that you're in. That has definitely been happening to me already here in the midst of September. Just kind of like, whoa, okay, Anna, whoa, all right. And this has to do with this excavation, because if you've already been doing some excavating in your life, if you've already been digging into some of those corners, then you're already starting to feel that, right? Things are moving very quickly right now, and the propensity to heal is enormous. And so it is, what are you taking on? What are you opening yourself up to? What is here for you, right? What do you want to do? Because it is open and it is available to you. This month's intensity is going to bring a lot, but we have to remember that we're supported and we can choose to bring joy into our life in any moment. Being responsible in these times isn't just about like doing the right thing. It's also doing the thing that's best for us. So in the midst of this release, we're going to be allowing ourselves to release what no longer serves, but wants to go, and even things that we aren't ready to let go of yet. I know for myself that I have been letting go of things that, gosh, it's taken me a while to get here. A while to get to these places. Even stepping back from my relationship, one of those things. It took me a long time to make that decision and to be in the right place to see that clearly. And that's where I needed to be. We can't rush what we need to step away from and what we need to release. And this can be a relationship, it could be a working position, it could be responsibilities that you have in your like everyday world. Like you could be a mom who's like trying to handle way too much. And it's like, this is the time to say, nope, we're going to hire someone, or we're going to have someone else do this, or, you've got to pitch in more, whatever the case may be, right? These are the things that are coming on board for us. And so those things that want to release, like some of these are even going to kind of be taken out of our hands. We might lose things, we might release things before we're even ready to. And it'll freak us out because, of course, we weren't there. But then when we look back, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, thank you. And we're going to see things so much more clearly this month. If you are someone who has been struggling with, again, releasing a job or a person or whatever the case may be, like this month is going to bring you in a lot of clarity. And it's just going to be like, oh, yep, time to go. And I think relationships are going to be a really big theme this month because, it's a primarily Libra ruled month. And the eclipses are also ruled by Venus, and Venus rules Libra. Libra is a lot about relationship. And this is relationship, like every type of relationship, not just like romantic relationship, okay? But so I think that there's going to be a lot around relationships this month, all right? And so we're going to get a lot more clear about what needs to go. And anything that we've been questioning, it's really gonna come into a different place for us. And it's so important to remember, as we're kind of coming up towards the end part of this year, the last quarter, OMG. there's been like all this like freak out happening online. It's kind of been cracking me up against like amongst like the business owner feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up and do blah, blah, blah. We're exactly where we're meant to be. And don't you allow yourself to get caught up in the comparison mode or think about like all the things that you wanted to do this year and that you didn't do this year. Like as a collective, we've been going through a 7-year, and that 7 energy is internal. Believe me when I say we are going to be so busy next year that we're going to look back and be like, man, I should have enjoyed that downtime more. I should have enjoyed that quiet more. Be chill with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Know that you've done the best you can. And when you're ready for more, more will come, more will appear. And it's coming, y'all. Like it is coming. Next year is going to be a major, major year. So remember, you've got everything you need right here, right now. You're here for a purpose and a reason. Also, in the midst of this release, when we release things, we open up space for new things to come in, which is really exciting. Again, like I'm usually for the most part kind of ahead of the energies that are coming in. I see them in my life and I'm just like taking note of them. And then when I channel through the monthly forecast, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yep, been doing that. Yep, been doing that. And I've already been clearing things out and like almost intentionally as well, kind of like, okay, clearing this out so I can welcome in the new, clearing this out so I can welcome in the new. And it's important to remember that as you are clearing things out, new things are going to want to come in. And so it's really, really important for you to pay attention to what it is that wants to come in, to what it is that wants to replace those things. You know, in my restoration sessions with folks in the Akashic Records, whenever we clear something out, we then upload something back into its place. And that is to fill that space, because space will always be filled. Like that's a scientific quantum like thing. I don't even know what the heck that's called. You know what I'm saying though? And so pay attention to what it is that you are welcoming back in, that you are replacing that thing with. You know, way back when I smoked cigarettes, and yes, I smoked cigarettes. I was a big fan of cigarettes, which is so weird for me to think about. It's so weird. I tried multiple times to stop smoking cigarettes. And the thing that finally helped me, because I realized in the midst, I was like, I'm trying to quit a habit, but I am not filling it with another habit, And I didn't understand energy back then necessarily. I didn't have the vocabulary for all of that. But I realized like, okay, if I'm going to stop one habit, then I need to create another habit in its place. And so the habit that I chose to start was like carrying water around with me and like drinking water all the time. I had friends who did that, and I thought that was great, because then you're like drinking water and hydrating yourself whenever you need. And I just thought, every time I want a cigarette, I'm going to just like have some water. I'm going to just like do that. That was how I stopped smoking. So again, be mindful when you are in the midst of releasing something, right? Like, so if you are, let's say, stepping away from a relationship, what are you going to fill that space with? Because all of a sudden you're going to have a lot more time. You're probably going to have a lot of different things like switch up in your everyday, like maybe when it comes to cooking or going out or whatever the case may be. Okay, so how can you be intentional about filling that space? And what are you going to fill that space with? Just something to think about. And as we are releasing, our light is going to intensify. Our ability to assist and be there, not only for ourselves, but others, is going to intensify. And that's going to be attracting a lot of people around you. These people are going to be needing things, and we want to be there for them. All right. But we also want to make sure that we've got boundaries in place and that we're also taking care of ourselves first and foremost. It's one of the hardest things of being someone, like myself. I still haven't come up with another word. Light worker. It's just I'm not a fan of the word, but someone who's here to really serve, and serve other people, is consistently having to put myself first. We have to do that, right? Otherwise, we get all kinds of out of whack, and then we get angry at other people because they hand quotations take advantage of us. But if we had boundaries in place first, then that wouldn't be able to happen. So we have to pay attention. There is lots of good coming in this month as well. It's not just like all intensity, right? Everything is balanced out. It's just that, like, in the midst of this release as well, like, a lot of love's going to be flowing in through our lives and flowing in to us at different times. And the records showed me that actually, like, really in like harder moments this month, for whatever reason, you're going to feel a lot more love. You're going to feel a lot more supported than you normally do. So this is just kind of the universe's way of letting you know, like, we're here, we're helping you. You're not alone. Emotions are a big theme this month, okay? And of course, I mean, when you think about release, like, emotions are definitely going to be playing a huge role in this. And release isn't always like a pleasant thing, right? I mean, release can happen in so many different ways. Release can come through anger, it can come through sadness, it can come in just so many different ways. And so we've really got to pay attention to ourselves and be kind to ourselves. They're going to come up a lot of times, like when we least expect them. And when they aren't planned. That's exactly what the records were talking about. We've got to allow this to happen. Get curious about what's going on. Be with those emotions. See if they have anything to teach us and show us, and then release them. Don't be afraid to, like, I've been working with a lot more men lately, which has been awesome. And one of my mentorship clients, he's going through a difficult time. It's so interesting to me because he just got divorced 2 months ago. And mind you, he was married for like 30 years. And he keeps being baffled by the fact that he like has all of these emotions coming up out of nowhere, over kind of the smallest things. And every time we connect, it's like, remember, you're going through a divorce. Like you're building a brand new life. You've had someone by your side for like decades. This is a big deal, and he's like, oh yeah, you're right. And then so like logically he can kind of wrap his mind around it, right? But like, be kind to yourself. If you find yourself crying over something, hand quotations, silly, like let yourself cry. If you feel anger over something, there's definitely something there for you to look at. Like whatever the emotions are, even the happiness, like pay attention to all of it, but a lot of this release is going to be coming through our emotions, which just makes sense, right? Then we have to remember too, that the world, what happens on the macro happens on the micro. She is also releasing and excavating. We had was the earthquake in Turkey, then the floods in Libya. There's a ton of conspiracy theories going on out there. And, I did an episode about conspiracy theories. I will, please check it out if you are someone getting kind of swept up in that stuff. Because not only did I talk about it and talk about what the record shared with me, but then I also shared a channeled Akashic message about it specifically. And it's fantastic. This was during like the Maui fires and whatnot. Like we're going to see more and more of this as we move forward. It just is what it is. And it's important for us to remember that these things are happening for a reason and a purpose. And also they showed me very clearly that in the areas that this is happening, it's because those areas need to be cleansed. And I know for the Maui fires, I mean, that was what they talked about, I believe, in the channeled message was how the Hawaiian people, this is about coming into a new place of empowerment with them. And that this particular part of Hawaii, like the folks weren't taking care of this land. I can't remember exactly what it was, so I don't want to say, but like these fires needed to happen so that it could be rebuilt stronger, better, more efficient, these types of things in a way that honors those people so much more. So we have to remember those things, like, are there nefarious things at play on this planet? Of course there are. There always will be. But what we focus on is what magnifies. So let's not think that everybody's out to get us. Let's not assume that everyone wants to screw us over, that every government is, you know, government is just flawed, period. Primarily because of what it was built upon and what it was, and that has just carried forth. And what we see in these days and times is the outcome of that foundation. The foundation that needs to be absolutely destroyed and rebuilt, period. It's got cracks, it's got holes, it does not support the people that it's meant to support. So Mother Earth is going to be at work again this month. And another thing just about that as well, I've shared this with you before, but when we see mass exits, and by that I mean like hundreds of thousands of people who are dying at the same time, or like in similar, like, you know, in one type of event or another. These people chose to end their lives in these ways. This was preordained. This was set up beforehand. These people are not victims. This was a decision that they made. And in the midst of clearing that energy, that physical energy from the earth, it makes space for new. So it's like not only did they make this decision, but they're also sacrificing themselves in a way so that new energy can come onto this planet. Death is just another like step for us. It's not the end, not even remotely close. And you know, yeah, it's just good for us to revisit these things, especially, you know, as we move forward and we see more and more death. Because I don't know about you, but those numbers just stacking up from Libya, and I don't even know what the final number was or if they even have a final number yet, but it was just like, holy crap, you know? And anyway, I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm wanting to go down a whole rabbit hole with that, but I will pull myself back. Okay, so this month, next, fear. Fear is another theme of this month that's going to be coming in big time this month. Coming back in big ways. You know, we've got COVID who's starting to show up again. We've got a number of different things. And, you know, like I shared at the beginning of the show, if the fear course calls to you, then grab a spot when it goes live. Getting into better relationship with fear is something I'm even looking forward to. And I think honestly that I have a pretty decent relationship with fear. I mean, you can never know it all, you know, like you would never, but I'm so excited to dive into this course and to really just break apart that mask of what fear is and come face to face with it and work on my own fears as well. But it's coming forward, and they were showing me like really coming in this month and kind of moving forward. So just FYI, there are all kinds of things online about fear and working with fear. You don't have to take my course. Honestly, if you put some time into investing, like you can learn a lot. So do that for yourself. As we move forward, it's so important for us to do what is best for ourselves, regardless of what other people are doing around us. You know, if like you got neighbors who are all like, yeah, we're going to do this thing, you know, with like our lawn or whatever. And you're like, that doesn't resonate with me. Like, do you? Please stop paying attention to what other people are doing. Please stop feeling like you need to do and be validated by the people around you. We are really being taught right now that what's most important for us is what is most important for us. What is most important for our family? What is most important for our little world? Take care of you first. And then, of course, this other theme that comes up this month is the mirror, right? Remembering that the people that we come into contact with, and again, we're going through a month of excavation, of release. It's emotional. There's going to be fear. People are going to be going through a lot. And so in that, when you come into contact with someone, if they are, you know, very intense, if they are emotional, if they are, whatever the case may, like try to disconnect yourself from them. Try to stay in your own energy. Let them be where they're at and understand that it's not personal. It's not personal. And at the same time, if something happens in your sphere, it is there to teach you something about yourself. It's there to help you see something about yourself. This mirror is going to be a big theme moving forward, okay? This is an opportunity for us to take responsibility for ourselves and to change our life if we don't like it, to change things about ourselves if we don't like it. Like, we have that power. We don't need to wait for anyone else to make it happen. We can take little small steps every single day. And before we know it, we will be there and we'll be ready for the next one. We can take control of our lives, and it's important for us to do that. And at the same time, letting go, right? It's such this dichotomy, and it's one that I haven't fully been able to wrap my mind around. It's like, as a human, how do I remember I'm in control? I'm the creator of my life, and yet make space by surrendering and letting go. It's not easy. And I think that the best thing that we can do is give it our best shot. Some days will be way more successful than others, but that's okay. We just keep trying. That's really all we have to do. Take your time, slow down this month. They keep bringing this up because it's just so massively important. They don't want us to get caught up in the, running around and busy and doing this and doing that. Like, we're missing out on really beautiful moments of life. They really want us to slow down. Like, life isn't meant to be spent at Mach 4 speed. It's meant to, be present with your family when you sit down with them. Put your cell phones away when you're with your friends out at dinner or having a coffee, or, you know what I mean? Like, let's slow down and enjoy this beautiful life that we're living. And then finally, let go, let things be as they are, and keep walking on your path. Your path has been given to you for a reason, and everything in it is here for a reason. Stay focused on your path. Don't let the world take you off course. Don't let distractions, take over your life. Don't let other people's opinions of who you should be and what you should be doing take over. This is your life. All right, so some ways to manage this month, real quick, and I'll run through these. Number 1, stay grounded, stay centered, always. And you can come back to the Akashic reading to assist you in that if you need. Number 2, journaling. Oh my gosh, in the midst of excavation, journaling is huge, huge. And you can record yourself on a video or do a voice note if you don't want to journal. Energy release, releasing energy. I mean, there's so many different types of practices out there. It's ridiculous. Exercise is a huge one. Very, very important for us, that affects us mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, energetically. I mean, it's move your body, y'all. Move it. Breath work, another really great one. Energy healing, book a session, especially if you're going through a really weird, sticky stuff, hard energies, big emotions, definitely work with a energy healer. Number 4, slow down, simplify your life. What else can you pull off the table? What else can you take off your plate? What else is unnecessary? Purge your house, purge your life, purge your freaking cell phone, purge your, you know what I'm saying? Slow down, simplify. Let's make it a lot easier, because it doesn't have to be this difficult. Number 5, focus on yourself, your family, etc. Let the world be what it is. I feel like I said enough about that, but it's just so huge. And then finally, quiet time, tuning in. You are your own beautiful beacon of wisdom. Within you, within your heart, lies everything that you could ever need or want. This connection to God, to self, to everything that is here. Spend time connecting with it. Spend time cultivating it. Spend time growing your trust in it. Okay? I am sending you all so much love for the month of October. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. And, do me a favor. Share this episode with someone else who could benefit from it. Let me know how it resonated with you. Like, hit me up on Instagram, send me an email, whatever floats your boat. I would love to hear from you. Please leave me a review on iTunes or Spotify if you have been enjoying this podcast. It is so helpful for me. Sending you so much love. And yeah. Don't forget, when we invest in ourselves, the world benefits. Until next time.